Hello all and welcome to our brand new look Craftmania showcases. Now I've got several changes to our showcases that we'll be chatting about throughout today's video, but the first one you may notice is lingering around us. This is Pete and he will be here to help me through my showcases when he can. No guarantees we'll always get him because he does have his own job too, but when I can I'm going to be stealing him to hopefully keep us on track and share lots of information with us as we go through our videos. Now I know lots of you have watched our Craftmania videos for many years and I know that you will be aware that we've had a little bit of a break in these. I was very lucky, I got myself a job on Create and Craft and I've been doing a few shows on there over the last couple of months that have kept me very busy. I'm hoping I've managed to juggle my workload a little bit and fit in a few extra stages so I'll actually be able to bring you more videos like this one on a very random basis. So please don't look for them to fall weekly like they used to, but whenever I can, I will be bringing you a new video or a new offer. Today we're very lucky because I actually got one of the collections that I launched back in May on Create and Craft, and we've managed to bring it to you today with some fantastic offers that Pete is going to tell us all about.
Or at least I'll do my best to. Okay, so again, this collection is built up of many elements really, but you know, you've got a collection of those 6 different stamps which sort of build up more of your base for your projects as such, and then we bring you some other little additions of different stamps, some dies, lots of different bits to sort of bring this all in. Again, as if you've been watching many of the showcases that we've done before, you'll obviously be aware that we do offer an amazing offer on them, and again there'll also be a bundle price if you just can't decide on which items you want to pick.
The bundle's amazing.
And the bundle's just we'll get to that.
We're teasing you with that,
so
but the bundle
much.
is amazing. You're going to love that when we get to that.
And we're also going to add some other little products that will tie very nicely with these, but also you'll be able to use them on many of your other projects as such.
We're just teasing them now.
Yes,
we need to tell them what we've got, don't we?
Okay.
So we're going to...
Just a basic sort of setup of, you'll see on your cards here, you've got your different order codes. They're only really relevant if you are deciding to message us on our Facebook setup, or if you wish to ring our store in Great Yarmouth in England, and you can quote these codes so we know exactly which products you're referring to. And again, you'll find these on here, so order code 3, 4, 5, and going on. But we'll refer to those later. So again, you've got 6 different stamps here, which are a nice size rubber stamp, which Jamie.
These are actually quite good because of their grey mounted rubber stamps. So by that I mean that they are grey rubber. They've already been mounted on cush mount for you, or an easy mount, and when you take off the backing cover, these will actually adhere onto your stamping blocks or platforms, and they will stay on as many times as you want. They're not sticky to touch. I always think it's a bit like magic, but they will actually go onto your stamping blocks or platforms, and you can use them to stamp as many.
And how do they vary compared to a clear stamp?
Well, a lot of people like rubber stamps more because there's a lot more techniques you can do with them.
Okay.
You tend to get more detail on a rubber stamp as well, but they have higher thresholds of heat and bits like that too. So depending on the techniques that you want to do with them, there's a lot you can do with a rubber stamp that a clear stamp might not stand up to.
Okay.
So it's nice that
because I think some
rubber.
of us are probably very set on, or perhaps only ever used the clear stamps, and probably these are a bit of a scary.
Rubber stamp. Never fear a rubber stamp.
Okay.
If you can stamp with a clear stamp, you can stamp with a rubber stamp. It will work in exactly the same way for you, but it just opens that door to more techniques if you wish to in the future try them. But like today's collection, you'll see that our houses are rubber stamps, our doors and our residents and all of them lovely bits we're going to get to shortly, they're all clear stamps. So there's no reason you can't use both in conjunction to create wonderful effects. So don't be alarmed that these are rubber, they'll work really well, give you some really nice detail. And of course you may notice that we have these big gaps in the middle here. These are for all of your additions that we'll be chatting about shortly. So don't worry about that. That is the perfect area to add some little residents and some doors and bits into.
And they're a lovely size stamp as well, aren't they?
They
so
are.
You make some lovely size cards, big cards, not just,
And when you look at them on the packet, I know that we're going to be looking at showing you the pictures on the front of the packet here.
Yeah.
Do be aware that your actual stamp is larger than your image on the front here. So they are going to be a bit bigger for you. I'm trying to remember, but I think the one we measured was approximately 8 centimetres by 15. To give you a rough idea, but they do change from design to design, and that is just a rough guess, but
it's a lovely
that's
size.
a nice size.
Nice size to work with. So, okay, so you've got six of those rubber stamps which make up your different houses as such. And again, they're all priced at the moment. The normal price would be $7.99, but you can take advantage of those at the moment for a limited time only. We're offering those to you at £6.79 each. Again, we're putting these together, and you have a lovely, also a little cheeky bundle price as well. But we'll bring you that later on. And don't forget, we can post this to you. You don't only have to collect it in store. You can, we can have it posted to you. Anything you spend over £5, we will pay your postage for you. Anything under £5 will be priced. Our carriage charge is only £2.75. And don't feel alienated if you're watching us abroad. We can have this posted anywhere in the world for you. Shipping charges are very reasonable. Only charge £10, UK £10. Anything over that we will pay the cost of. Anything under that we will reimburse you for the difference. And we always try and find the quickest and most cost-effective way of getting stuff to you. And then moving on to your next stamp sets as such. These are more your doors, which can complement with your different rubber stamps, and you will see the different styles on offer. Again, little additions on there. You've got little gnomes, you've got little birds. There's just so many things on there.
I actually love these little additions so much because they can really build up your scene. So to have a little gnome on the doorstep of something like the dandelion step stamp #1, that really looks quite lovely.
Yeah.
Or maybe like the milk bottles on this one. I think they're really a nice little addition. They're the bits that bring your scene to life. They're the bits that make your scene believable. If you can believe that your fairies have had milk delivered and have left their wellies on from a walk in the field, you can
just
really,
so magical, isn't it?
It builds up that belief, doesn't it? It builds up your scene.
Absolutely.
So these are actually clear stamps, by the way. Again, they are a bit bigger than you see them on the front. You're getting 17 stamps in each set of these, and you'll notice that all of these will actually fit on any of the houses or trees or whatever you wish to call them, the toadstools. All of them will fit. So it doesn't matter which set you go for or which house you go for, they will all work in conjunction.
Which is great. Again, these ones currently priced only £10.19. Normally they'll be $11.99, and you get a good selection of stamps in there, the different options as well. But then these are the main star of the show, we feel there, which are your craft, the dies of the doors. So again, they have. If I flip that over, you can see the different ones that you'll get on there. And again, these will coordinate with your stamps. So as Jamie will show you on this card here.
So yeah, I think we've teased them enough. We've really just shown them something that you'd actually create with these. So let's have a little look at this card, because this will actually show you how you can bring your collections together and some of the things you could achieve with them. So this is using product number 3, which is the Oak Hollow stamp. We also have the door from product number 8, which is the Doors B stamp that's been stamped onto the front here. We also have the lovely little cute bird houses, which again comes off of that Doors B set of stamps. You'll also see the little milk bottles we was chatting about earlier as well. You'll also pick up and see some little sneaky peeks of our little snail. He'll come up shortly. You've also got the fairies as well and the little butterflies. These have all been additions from stamps we're going to be showing you shortly. And then of course we've used the dies to actually open the door. And then when you open the door in here, we have our first secret little resident to show you. Now, of course, you don't have to put secret residents behind here if you didn't want to. You could put little messages, or you could have little hidden messages, and you can actually leave the doors quite closed. When they cut, they will actually stay attached, a bit like an advent calendar. Okay. So if you want to, you can leave that sealed in there, and then the recipient can actually peel the doors open for the first time and find whatever's behind the door. Or you can cut it with a knife to actually make them a bit more free and open if you wish to. Wow. You're also getting a little sneaky of some of my favourite flowers on this one as well. We're going to be looking at them soon, but they are your passion flowers, and there's a whole set of them. They're really lovely, but we won't spoil them. We'll talk about them when we get there. But back to your stamps.
So again, we've got several sets here. Again, these are all priced at $10.19 for you, a limited time. We've got the Secret Residence one here, which we've sort of roughly touched on, but they're just so amazing. You know, your little bird, this is the one I love, the little robin. He's nibbling away on his little worm there as such, but and then you've got beautiful little fairies. There's what else have we got on there? The little foxes, the little bunnies. There's, he's a little cute little hedgehog there delivering his little letter. I mean, imagine that just outside the front of your little houses. They're just
I like the way that you
so
can match
cute.
them in. So you've got different rooms as such. So you've got the fox in the bath that you could put in the upstairs of the house. Then you've got the fox with his present that you could put downstairs behind the door, maybe. I also really like the way you've got the fairy and you've actually got the back of the fairy. So if you wanted to put her on the front of the steps leading up to the door, it'll look as if she's knocking on the door to come in. Or possibly you could put her just inside the door as if she's just walked in. So lots of options with that set.
I think they really add a nice magical sort of side to it, don't they?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, truly do. They bring it to life.
This one here is your flora and fauna set. Again, this is order code number 11 if you are ordering in store. Again, there's so many different foliage options here. You've got little owl there, little toadstool bits you can add on.
This set is so lovely, even if you're not going to go for the houses and the fairies aren't your thing. We understand that they're not going to be everybody's cup of tea. This set of stamps is gorgeous. It just could be built up into so many little scenes and so many little foliage bits, so many little wintry scenes too. Loads you could do with this.
Even your butterflies, you could use those on anything really.
Yeah, of course you could, definitely.
Any of your projects. Then this one here is your cute little fairies and elves. Some of these are more sort of silhouetted as such, which you'll see on some of the creations later on. But again, you can play around with these. They're so cute, so much fun to have with those. It's just, never ending really. But
again, this is a good set even if you don't like the houses. I know, I love the houses personally, but I think these could be a really good set for just so many different themes and occasions. Even if you don't go for the houses, they're just a lovely size stamp that you could build up some really nice fairy garden scenes on your own if you wanted to. But if you do go for the houses, you'll notice that like this one's sitting perfectly. You can put her on some of the branches of the trees, and there's another one down here. He actually sits perfectly on the side of one of the houses, so you really can dress them up and add them to your scenes if you want to, if you do go for the collection.
We teased you earlier with the bundle. I mean, obviously you've got a great saving to be had there at the moment, which is roughly around about 15%, but if you do choose, you think, well, I can't choose between which ones I want, and it's a difficult choice. You must have this to go with. It's just, amazing. But we're offering all of these to you, so you'll get the set of 6 houses, which we saw first. You'll get set A and B of the doors. You'll also get the door die set, so that's your 10 craft dies there. You'll get the stamp sets here as well, and again, normally you would pay nearly £123 for that, but today for a limited time we're offering you that for only £94.99, which is a saving of nearly £28.
So
which
just
is
to clarify,
amazing.
you mean they're going to get all the way from item 1 to item 12
Yep.
for under £100?
Yep.
That's a lot of stuff for under £100.
Again,
I know £100 is a considerable amount of money, and maybe out of a few of our reaches, I can get that. And you might just want to pop in and get the odd item, but to think you're going to get all the way up to the fairies and elves set of stamps in that bundle for just £94.99, that's incredible. That's
12,
really good value.
Is it 12 packs we've got there?
Yeah, 12 different products, so 6 houses, 2 doors, the dies for the doors, the secret residence, the flora and fauna, and the fairies and elves. So you could really build up some fantastic creations with that.
And again, that's obviously free carriage as such, but you can buy that it's all available under our showcase tab on our website, which is www.craftmaniacrafts.com. And again, if you need any help, you can't find any products, anything, you can simply just message us on Facebook and we'll gladly assist you where we can.
So more items to tease them with, I feel.
Very
more
much
bits
so.
that they might wish to add into their baskets if they're going for the collection, or the individuals that they might like. So next up we have our lovely thoughtful sentiments. Now, of course, these aren't included in your bundle from here on in, so you will need to add them in if you'd like them. These are actually designed by Lisa Horton, and you will notice that these go so well with the Willoby Woods collection. They're not actually part of it, but the fonts and the sentiments really are going to match in nicely.
They lend themselves very well,
they're beautiful. You've even got little butterflies and dragonflies and bits like that you could coordinate so nicely on with some of the other stamps too. So they're a really lovely set to add on. And again, these are clear stamps.
You are my happy place. What a lovely Lovely
I like
sentiment.
that, especially
That's
when
so
you look at that with
nice.
the houses, because of your house should be your happy place.
Absolutely.
So say you are my happy place. I think it works well. There's also a really nice wishing one as well here. I can't read upside down very well, but I remember there's wishing you love, and I think wishing's a really nice sentiment to add in with the fairy side of it. So I do like that one. So that one, of course, is code 13, and that's your thoughtful sentiments, and is reduced to just £10.19p.
Absolutely. And then obviously we've got to add a splash of colour to these. This is where our next side comes in. You've got a beautiful set of watercolour pens. These are amazing. They such great value for these. And again, at the moment we're offering those to you at only $16.99, which is, as you see from Jamie's set there, you get 24 of these watercolour pencils. You know, he's used those for a long time.
I have. I've had these since May. I'm absolutely in love with them. I've snuck them into many a project I possibly should or shouldn't have. Yeah. And as you can see, they're hardly used. Even the green, which as I'm sure you can imagine with all of our foliage and bits like that, even that's only lost ½ inch. So it really is a good set. You'll also notice underneath here, if I can dig in, there is also hidden under there a paintbrush too, which is actually a really good paintbrush, and you get that free inside your tin. It's also a good place to keep it so you don't lose it. And with these, I genuinely can't rant and rave enough about these. I've tried so many cheap sets, let's be honest, cheap sets of watercolour pencils, which I've tried to colour with them and then move them with water and nothing's moved. There is no movement whatsoever. With these, you can really drag that colour out for a long way. And I'll be able to show you these when we get onto the demo bit shortly to actually show you how they're going to work for you, but they are brilliant.
But again, you get what you pay for. You know, it's worth paying those extra few pounds to get a good quality
and
item.
£16.99 isn't actually that dear for watercolour pencils. Not when you think you're getting 24 of them. That's a really good value price for them. So, yeah, quality definitely.
Absolutely. You may have already seen some of these Cosmic Shimmer watercolour palettes. This is one that James picked out to go with this one, but it's the iridescent watercolour paints. Again, the little tiny pots in there. They all click out. They're all on a magnetic base, but they're amazing. They're really, really good. But again, they're priced at $15.99. That's order code 15. And then bringing you on to some lovely sort of glitter Stardust pens, which are the Jelly Roll pens. Again, work lovely. Jen will show those later, which are order code number 16. And they are priced now currently only $21.24. To work with those, you will also, a crafting essential really, is the watercolour brush, the water brush. Again, priced at only £3.39. It's a great little add-on, which I think you really sort of will kick yourself if you don't order that one as such. It's, you know, you use it many times.
The water pens are brilliant. There's so many techniques you can do with them. I'll be able to show you using the water pens with the Stardust pens, with the palettes, and the pencils when we get to the demo. So lots we can do with that. Really good essential to have, you're right.
Wow. These, Sue Wilson, maybe a brand, a name that I know James is familiar with, a name. It just oozes qualities. They're very versatile. They're great products. Let me flip this one over. This pack only, you know, all the dyes you get in there. There's 23 different dyes in there. But these flowers, as we looked briefly at the cards earlier, you can layer these up lovely. The different colours on, as Joe will explain on the different dyes there.
You get two sets of dyes as such for each flower. So you have the outside dye, which will cut your backing plate. You then have the filigree part to the flower. Now this doesn't have a blade running around the outside of it, so if you wish to, you can nest it back inside the outer blade and actually cut out a freestanding flower. It also means that you could cut out the freestanding part here with the delicate bit in the middle in one colour, then cut the background colour in a different shade and layer them together. So like on that first card we had a look at, we had a blue top and a white bottom. That was created by cutting a solid and a lacy one and putting them together. It also means, of course, we could cut windows with just the outer shape, or we could cut really delicate lacy papers by just using this and popping it all over the page to create little floral backgrounds and such. But with this set, as you said, amazing value for money, because you're getting so many dyes in there for only $11.89.
$11.89 is a bargain, really. And that's order code 18. Moving you on to our next one, which is order code 19, which is your delicate garden set. And again, there's such a beautiful frame die that you will get in here. But also you'll get the different, if I just show you on the other side, I'll show you a cutting edge, again, which we can cut into the card to make apertures if you wish. And here are all your tiny little flowers, which if we show you this one here, I don't know if you can see many of them on there, but once they layer up, Joey's pixie powdered those, I believe, haven't you?
Yeah, pixie powders over the top of these ones, and some misters to give them a bit of a mica shimmer.
But they look incredible. But that would look, how nice would that look on a card on its, just played around with on its own? It's
so good for scrapbooking too.
Yeah,
lovely frames for scrapbooking.
Yeah.
Okay, couple more items for
we're
you.
nearly there,
We'll show you some samples.
So we've got a couple of embossing folders, which this one is amazing with your the collection that we're offering you today. If you think those lovely, the effects you can get with the wood bark of those trees will tie in so lovely with the different cards that you can produce for those. And again, that is only priced at $4.24, as is your Distressed Lines one. These are both created by Lisa Horton. Again, good quality products, so definitely worth sort of adding to your basket as such. Moving on to your next item, we're offering you is the MDF screen set. This sort of one of Jamie's probably shows off the product better, and again that is priced at only $5.94. But you could put photos in here. You could sort of create something similar.
The screen could be used for a million different things. All I could think of when I see the collection is how well it would work with the Willoby woods on the screen in the different panels. But so many ways you could dress this up. It's got a bit tatty now, to be honest, because it's been in the shop on display since May, and it has got a bit battered, but it's hopefully an idea. Everything here is just ideas for you, but it's a nice way to dress up something using your stamps and your collections. And then with that in mind, if we look at these ones quickly, these again are very similar. So they're using a lot of misters, a lot of inks to create these effects. They're a bit more mixed media than most of the Willoby Woods collection samples that I've made. But I like to try and show you a collection in as many different variations as we can. So if you are somebody who likes your mixed media style of crafting, these might be a really nice addition to that and a way to use them. So these ones at the front here, these are all MDF panels, nice wooden panels that I've stained and used some misters on to create that effect. I've heat embossed using gold embossing powder with my stamps to create that etched look, and then just gone over with some misters to really give them that mica sheen. And then if we have a little look to the back here, we've got some cards done in the same idea. So this card, for instance, to give you a few ideas of what we've actually been using, this has got number 6 for Toadstool Penthouse on it. And we have our watercolour palette has been used to actually paint these in over a misted background. Moving on to our next card, we have number 4, the Toadstool Turret. And the door on this one is actually for product number 8 from door set B. And then you'll notice some flora and fauna stamps. So this is what we're on about. You could just fill out your designs using them lovely little intricate stamps. That, of course, is product number 11. And then at the top here, we have got one of our fairies, my fairies and elves set of stamps, which is number 12. And then moving on to our next card, so we've got this one to show you. This one is using number 4, our Toadstool Turret stamp. It's got our number 7, doors A, for the design of the door on this one. Of course, we've also used the doors die to actually open that one out. We've also got some more of our flora and fauna on here, which is number 11. We have our fairies and elves stamps, which is product number 12. And we've used the lovely number 18, the passion flower die, to create this two-tone effect in the inside of our card as well. I love these sentiments. I think they're perfect for the inside and the outside of your card. And talking of those sentiments, actually, this whole collection gave me an idea for a different style of gift. So this little box here is all about the idea of giving somebody the gift of being able to hand out handmade cards for somebody who may not be a crafter. So on the inside of our box, we actually have a whole host of greetings cards that I've stamped up. I've added different sentiments onto each one. I've used all different pieces from the Willoby Woods collection, and I've tried to make it so that if you was to give this to your niece or your nephew maybe, or any family member, friend, or somebody who's done you a good turn, maybe a home help or a teacher at school, or somebody who would enjoy some colouring in but might not have time to do the cards, they could colour these in, decorate them up, and actually hand them out all year long to their friends and family. In the bottom of the box, obviously, are your envelopes that you're going to need to pop them cards into. And then below that, I've actually put in some really inexpensive colouring pencils aiming this more as a child's gift. But of course, if it was somebody who you knew would look after them, why not put in something like the Stardust Sparkle pens, a watercolour palette, maybe a watercolour brush, or of course even the watercolour pencils would be a lovely addition. And then after they've handed out all of the cards using the envelopes provided, they could decorate the box and actually keep hold of that. And then if you wanted to, you could even refill the box for them every time you've got a chance to, so that they've got more cards to hand out throughout the next year.
Such a simple idea, but it's so effective, and it just looks, it's amazing, isn't it? It's
just a nice concept, and it's one of them. I've kept it quite simple.
Yeah.
If you wanted to, you could put in a sheet of cut out fairies and bits like that you could put on it, or you could use the doors to actually cut them open and put little sentiments behind them. Whatever you wanted to, you could really jazz them up a bit more. Moving on to our next card, we have got for you, this is a little idea. This is using our Fairies and Elves, which is number 12, our Thoughtful Sentiments, which is product 13, our Delicate Garden Die to create our gorgeous frame in the 2 tones here, that's product number 19. And then we've got the Distressed Lines embossing folder that I've actually inked in the background. That, of course, is product 21. These little cute butterflies, of course, come in with your frames. That's a nice way to get some nice little butterflies too. Moving on to another little card here that I'm going to show you. This one has got our toadstool turret on it, which is number 4. We've also got our doors, which is set B, product number 8, and our Fairies and Elves stamps, which are number 12, to decorate that one up. Of course, we've got our little bunnies as well, and our little milk bottles too, and of course our sentiment over here. Lots on that one. Let's pick another one to have a little look at. This one has got our number 3 Oak Hollow for our stamp. It's got the set of doors A, which is product number 7, and it's got our Fairies and Elves, which of course is stamp set 12. And then of course we have our Passion Flower, which is number 18, to make our lovely 2-tone flowers. And then lastly, this is a little project I'm going to share with you that's got several of our houses in it. So you can see that I've used different houses on the back here. I've also made a little 3D standing house here with a little secret resident hidden behind the doors there. And that actually folds down. The back on open, so this can all be collapsed down and put into an envelope. But it's a nice way to show you how you could use several houses on one project. It doesn't all have to be just one house per one. So talking of all this, you may want to go for the bundle. Now Pete's actually got all of it together for you here to give you a little idea of what you're going to be getting.
Absolutely, as we said before, so you're getting an amazing collection here. You've got your 6 different houses, you've got your 5 other stamp sets there, and also your 10-pack die set as well. And again, that is priced for you at only $94.99 at the moment. That's for a limited time only. This can all be purchased on our website, which is www.craftmaniacrafts.com. You can also ring Great Yarmouth store, which is 01493 843 666, and anything, you just quote the codes and we'll have those ordered and put aside for you and sent to you express as quick as we can, so you can get creating and crafting. You just want to get on with it. It's just amazing. But again, that is such a great saving. You're saving nearly £28, so definitely worth a consideration. But anyway, we see all these lovely projects, so if we make our way down and see what Jamie's creations, we'll see some of his work in progress, as we say.
So then, I thought we'd have a little play around with our collection and see what we could create. So these are a few of the cards I didn't get a chance to show you on Create and Craft, but instead of actually aiming at really showing you completed cards today, I wanted more to give you the opportunity to see a few of the techniques and a few of the products actually in action. So what I've got for us here is I've got my stamping mat. I'm going to put a piece of paper on top of it so I don't ink over that. I've got a piece of watercolour card that I'm going to pop on the middle there. And then I've taken my stamp and I've attached it to my stamping platform. Now the one we are using here is number 3, which is our Oak Hollow. And I'm going to use some VersaFine black ink and I'm going to stamp over the top of this. Now you do have these big gaps in the middle of your stamp here, obviously for your doors and your extra additions. Now, although you want to give your stamp a good ink, you do want to be careful not to get ink in the middle there, because if you do, there is a chance that might come through onto your card. So I tend to cheat. I use a recyclable cotton earbud, These are the paper variety, so I'm hopefully not doing too much damage to the planet. And you can go in and you can remove any excess ink from these areas. Again, this is really good if you're using embossing powders or clear ink, because you might not see the inks there, but when you go to stamp it, if you didn't want ink in them areas and you end up with it on your work, then you might end up with embossing powder in places you don't want it to be. So we'll turn that over because I've just put a bit of an ink stain on there, and we will aim for our stamp to be roughly there. We'll give that one a good push down, because I want to show you how this whole set comes together, because it's actually quite easy to get a really good effect with it. So we have our house stamped in place nice and easily. So we're going to remove our outer house and we're going to go for a door. So let's have a little look. Should we go for one of these? Let's go for that one. So if Pete will tell us which door this set's from, or what set this door's from even.
He's putting me on the spot.
I am, yeah, because I can never remember which one's which. It's the one with the milk bottles, Pete.
So this one is from your door set B.
Lovely. And then we're going to stamp our door in the middle there. So if you do fall in love with this door in particular, as Pete says, it is from the B set. Now normally...
any inks you would recommend to use for your stamping and such? Is this your...
I like this one. This one is lovely because it's a nice, crisp, fine ink. The downside is, and I was about to say this, is it does take a moment to dry, and I'm going to be very impatient and work with it straight away. So we might end up with a bit of a smudgy mess, but hopefully we'll be okay. Watercolour card is quite good for its absorbency, so it shouldn't take too long, but it is something to bear in mind. If I was doing this in my own leisure, I would leave it a couple of minutes to dry or heat set it.
Yeah, and again, when you're playing around at home, you can take time over creating these. We just want to give you that idea of what projects you can create as such.
So next up, I'm going to take one of my door dies. Now, I've obviously got a door here that opens in the middle, so we need to pick the door where it opens in the middle. As I mentioned earlier, you will receive the solid door, and you will receive the door with the split down the middle to create more of a wardrobe style door open. Now, when you're using these ones, I actually found a bit of a trick, especially when you're using the circle one. If you want to try and line your line up here with the line in the middle, if you take your tape, if you're going to use tape, and pop it over the front of your die to begin with, and then you bring it down and wrap it round to the bottom, check it is in line, and then open that part out, you know now that your tape is level with the spine of that door, or the middle part of the door, not the spine, sorry. So when you come to pop it on your work, you should be able to line that up quite easily with the top and the bottom. Now this is a bit OTT, because you don't have to worry too much, because of, as you can see, the doors do fit quite nicely within the shape. But when you're looking at the circle one, it may be a bit more tricky because you have a circle die and a circle shape to pop it into.
If we just flick that one around, just so you can perhaps see that a little clearer. But as you see there, all right,
it's in line and ready.
Absolutely, and we'll just pop that through.
And we'll pop that through our machine. So of course, these being dies, a lot of people may ask which machines could you use them with. These of course will work with any machine which you can use a thin metal die with. So I've of course got an A4 plate here. You don't need A4 for these are tiny, tiny dies. And of course it's more down to the size of the house, but as we discussed earlier, the houses are roughly 18 by 15 centimetres, so it would fit in all of your small machines such as cuttlebugs and bits like that, so you don't need to worry too much about that one. We're just going to pull this tape off here. There we go. Now, as I mentioned earlier, your door may not be completely cut all the way round. You will notice there are a couple of little nicks on here. So actually, I'll bring a tile. I was meant to bring over a cutting mat, but I forgot. So we'll just do this on a tile for speed. We're just going to nick them bits across there, and you can then see that you can bring your doors open. Oh, I've missed the one at the bottom there. Just go across there. There we go. So we have our doors open. Now, as I said earlier, you can leave them sealed, and the idea then is that your person, your recipient that you send your card to, can actually pull them open for the big reveal and the surprise inside. But with this one, I'd prefer to have the doors open so that you can see the item in there already. So we'll pop that one to one side. And we're going to fast forward just a little bit down here to one that I've already coloured quite a lot of. So with this one, I've coloured the majority of my tree using alcohol inks. And then around the edges here, I have painted in or coloured in using some of the Stardust pens. but I will finish this one off using some pencils just to try and show you how you can use lots of different pieces together on one project. It doesn't have to all be individual. So there's a couple of ways you can use your watercolour pencils. You can of course take your pencil to your work and colour on it. Thank you, Peter.
Sorry.
No, thank you. Colour on it, and then you can bring in your water brush. Oh, I've got a dirty water brush, that's not good, is it? There we go. And you can spread that colour out slightly. But one tip I will give you actually is if, like here, you find you haven't quite got enough colour to spread all over your work, please don't take your pencil to your work and colour with it. Because that's wet, you'll end up with a harsher mark. If you take your pencil and actually take the colour off the tip using your water brush, you can then use it to paint in, and you'll end up with a more solid card. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so you're using your pencils as a palette. And if you've got a really delicate area that you're trying to colour, like a little small area like this, for instance, you might not want to try and get your pencil in there and then fit in with your brush. You could just pick up the colour off the tip of your brush instead. So we'll just do a bit more of this there.
And again, those water brushes, we've got them only at £3.39. I think they're just an amazing essential, really. They're
I wouldn't want to craft without one, I must admit.
You use them over and over again.
They're the sort of thing that you will find so many reasons for, and you'll want to know why you've tried to craft without one. So then let's go for a purple door, shall we? So again, that is one of the problems. You've got so many colours to choose from. How do you ever pick? Where do you start? But they do build up to create a lovely set of colours. Okay, and I like this because you can just scribble. You don't have to worry about being
an artist, do you?
No, not at all. And they blend so well as well. I was going to show you a card actually earlier. Oh, that's worth getting. There's a card up there with some roses on, black and red roses. It's obviously nothing to do with the Willoby collection as such, but it does show how well these pencils work on black card. So this card actually started off as a piece of black card. I've embossed it. I've used an opal polish to highlight the embossing work in gold, and I've coloured it in using my pencils. So as you can see, this is the red and the green, and I've worked so well on that card to give you an idea of how it's looking. The other card that was with it, Pete, the pink roses, that will show you how you could colour the same embossing folder on white card to get a very different effect with it. Just going to bring in some tone for the doors.
That's just beautiful, isn't it?
So as I say, not part of the Willoby collection, but please don't forget the items I'm showing you today. You don't just have to use them with Willoby. These can be used for loads of different crafting ideas.
Beautiful.
So that one actually, to tell you how that one was done. Yeah, that one is coloured in with the pencils. It's gone over with an opal polish to give you the pink highlights to the edges, and then it's been clear embossed using clear embossing powder 3 times as a triple embossed effect to give it a high gloss tile effect.
Just looks so luxurious. It's beautiful.
Okay. Because this is the one I had earlier. I hadn't actually cut my doors on this one, so we will just cut them open.
You get the idea. I mean, these dies you could create your own advent calendars with. You could sort of layer them up and stick a sneaky little chocolate behind those doors, but you know, obviously test them as you go along. Make sure they're up to scratch. But no, there's many possibilities with these dies, not purely just for the for this collection.
Okay, let's pop that out of the way, and we will bring our next pieces to this card. So I've already created an easel card. I have already a lovely little fox to pop behind my door. So for my secret resident, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my piece of card over. I'm going to put some Cosmic Shimmer glue out on the back here. Now I genuinely do love Cosmic Shimmer glue. It's one that we have available in store and on the website again. I tend to buy the big bottles of Cosmic Shimmer and then actually decant it into little ultra fine bottles, because then you'll get more out of it. And Cosmic Shimmer really is one of them glues you don't need to use a lot of. But you can then turn this over and you can pop your little fox in place. And because the Cosmic Shimmer's got that little wiggle room to it, you can actually make sure that you've got him in the right area. And then he's there, our little resident is in place. So we'll pop him to one side for just a second, and we will pick up our stopper. Now this is using one of our sentiments, which I can't remember what number product that is, but that's using the happy birthday from it. We're going to pop that in there to make our stopper part for our easel card.
Product number 13, if you are obviously need the code, and that's just priced at $10.19, but don't forget that isn't included as part of your bundle, but definitely worth considering as an add-on.
And then I think this really makes this. I love the little details. So we'll pop the little owl on the top part there, and then we'll bring in some more of our Cosmic Shimmer glue to just attach this onto our card. And now I know this is a very simple card. It really is just a quick and easy card to create, but hopefully it's showing you how lovely the Stardust pens are. You've also got to see the watercolour pencils, you've got to see the dies in action, and you've of course got to see the stamps too. So lots of bits on that one from this collection to give you a bit of an idea. So let's move on and we'll show you another one, shall we? So I thought for our next card I would show you something slightly different. So of course we can use the houses, and I do love the houses. There's also quite a lot we can do with like the fairy stamps and the floral and fauna stamps. And this is one of the ones I wanted to show on Create Craft, but just didn't have time. You get 3 hours, which sounds like forever, but when you're there, it's amazing how quickly it goes and how quick you're left without enough time to do everything you want to do. So let's grab a piece of paper again, and this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to use our Cosmic Shimmer watercolour paints. So these are great because you get so much out of them. Again, you're going to notice quite quickly mine are a bit messy and they have been well used. I do love these. Little trick here, if you actually open up your box and just use a mister to mist over the top of them, all of your colours are instantly going to be ready to use for your next project, and they're ready to go. And you've not wasted anything because they will just dry back inside the actual disc, so they're there for the next time you want them. Pete did also briefly mention this earlier, but all of the discs are actually on a magnetic base, so if you do want to hook them out, you can do. There are actually 10 different palettes available, so there is a whole host of options with these. And the good bit is if you wanted to hook out the ones you want and pop them into a palette to take away with you or something like that, you could do. You don't have to keep them all in one palette all of the time. It's a good way to mix and match. But if you do want to put them back in the relevant palette at any time, it will actually tell you on the base all of the colours that are in that palette in that colourway. So the one we're looking at today, by the way, is called Carnival Brights. So all I want at this stage is just a grassy part to put at the bottom of my scene. And then we're going to come in and we're going to find the floral and fauna stamps. And we're just going to do a little bit of this, because of it could become boring quickly, but hopefully we can build up a bit of a scene with these without too much hassle. So I'm going to add on to one of our blocks, and we're going to ink these up. Do you want to get rid of my palette for me, Pete?
Sure.
Thank you. Now the good bit with this as well is if you do your grass a bit too high or a bit too low, it doesn't matter. We can always go back and add in more grass. It's just a guide at this stage. It's not an essential area for you to fill or not fill. Okay, would you like to select a fairy, Pete?
Mm-hmm.
It's not something I get to say very often.
Well, decisions, I don't know really, there's so many, which... There we go.
Lovely, thank you. Now there is also a bit of a trick to these too. Have you got my post-its? I had some post-its here, Pete. Ah, well done. So if your stamp is too tall and you wish to hide it a bit, you can of course post it off the area that you wish to. We also do a product called Mask It. That's really good for this sort of technique too. But it means like here, we can get different heights using the 2 different areas by just masking one bit down. Then let's bring in the fairy that Pete chose earlier. We'll add that
too many to choose from.
There is, yeah, the whole collection's a bit like that. Would you like to pick another one as well?
I want a butterfly on there as well.
Yeah, go for a butterfly too. No. You can have whatever you want. Whatever you want. I'm quite easygoing. So let's go.
I think it
for
just
a
shows
butterfly
what a scene
there.
you can build up. Really, it's
And we'll go for one in there,
amazing.
and then let's pop a third one down here, just above there. Oh, we've got a bit of a splodge there, but that's fine. We can cover that up. This is the joy of speed crafting. You might get the odd mark. Let's go for something like this little flower here. I'll bring in these. I love these little ones. Add in them. And again, let's bring in our poster. Lower that one down there. Okay, now hopefully you're starting to see very quickly how you're going to be able to build these up. You don't have to do as much as we are or as little as we are. It really is up to you how much or how little you do. So as you can see, quite nicely we're going to get a picture. So let's fast forward to one that we've done earlier. It's all about cheating this game, isn't it? All about the reveal of the ones from earlier. So now we can have a little look at this one. Now this one is using lovely sparkle pens. So let's dig out some of those for you.
Can I just turn that around just to show you?
Yeah, give them a little flash.
Just they haven't got to turn upside down.
Yeah, that's true.
But
That's
it's
true.
amazing. It's beautiful.
Okay,
Yeah.
so sparkle pens are great because again these are ones where we can chock in lots of glitter and effects really quickly. So if we colour in a few bits just to give you an idea. I'm never any good with flowers. I never know what's meant to be what colour. So I tend to just go off on my own tangents. But I think that's part of crafting, isn't it? You don't have to be exact. Now, another thing that you can do with these is that we can actually tap the colour out. So if you wish to use something like a tile, or at home I often use a clear stamping block, but if you tap out the colour onto an area, you can then pick up your colour with your brush, hopefully a clean brush. Let's get rid of that. See, all this speedy bit, I don't clean nothing, do I? So we'll try that again with a new brush, or a cleaner brush and a new pile. But you can pick up your colour and then you can actually watercolour that into your image. So you're going to get a more softer effect here. Bring out some more of the red. Add in a bit more detail across the bottom. There we go. So as you can see quite quickly with these, again, they're chock full of glitter. You can either even go onto your area and then bring your colour out from that too. So we'll try and clean that off. And again, if you don't get enough colour out of it, feel free to tap a bit more onto your tile and stretch that in there again. Here we go. Doesn't that look nice? So again, quite quickly you could colour these in to create some lovely effects. So as you can see, that's just a quick couple of minute bit, but here's one I've done earlier, filled full of colour, as created with a bit more time. So let's mount that onto a card. So what are you thinking for these fairies, Peter? Have I managed to convince you that these are something you need?
It's just which one do you do first? That's the trouble. I mean, obviously, I think, you know, like the your total towers is probably one of my. I'm not allowed a favourite, am I? But,
of course you're allowed a favourite. Everyone's got a favourite. I think mine is the penthouse one.
Oh, you did use that quite a lot, I seem to remember. I think it's the little windows, and you can have the little windows and you sort of colour them in, you know, with your yellows and to show as if someone's at home, you know, perhaps the little fires burning inside the little house and all sort of cosy and warm in there, and it's just sort of magical, really. It's yeah.
There we go. So there's another card created to give you an idea of that one. So again, that's even without using the houses. So looking more to your secret residence, your floral and fauna, and of course your lovely fairies. So very quickly, as you can see, with a bit of trickery from pre-done bits, where we've created that card and this card, without much effort, quite easy cards to create, aren't they?
And they're very impressive works, really. you can create such a product, so easily. Really, it's just the products that really make the difference.
And then this one, let's do a bit more stamping, shall we? Let's clear the deck slightly and bring back some house stamps and build up another scene. So I really like being able to show you how you can use more than one stamp. So I've got a piece of card here and I've just scored it from each end. All will come clear shortly, but it's scored there for a reason. I'm going to clear off our blocks. I've got a bit inky with that a minute ago, didn't we? We'll get rid of that stamp and let's bring in another house. Oh, this is a lovely one. Which one's this one, Pete? Is this Toadstool Turret?
That's the Toadstool Turret. That's order code 4. And again, if you only wish to buy this, just the one on its own, that's priced at £6.79. And again, that will qualify in UK for 3p&p. So it's yeah.
So again, don't forget to take out your ink in the middle there. You don't have to, but it certainly might help. We'll stamp that one on here. Now this one's one of my favourites because it's actually an edge stamp. So the side to the house is missing. So it's the perfect one to go against the edge of your piece of card. So this part will line up really nicely and go across the top and the bottom there of your piece of card. And then let's add another stamp into the other end. So let's bring on, oh, this one's lovely. This one's Gnarly Nook, which I absolutely love the name for as well. So it's got a lot of detail in this one, really nice branch elements. This one's a complete house in the fact that you can use it in either direction. Both sides to the house are present and correct. We'll pop out our ink in the middle here.
And again, this one, if you wanted to just order this one on its own, is order code number 5. But I don't think I could choose between them.
That is the problem, isn't it? When you've got a collection like this, how do you just say, oh, I just want one, or I'm just going to go for this bit? I'm a bit worried I might have inky fingers, but we'll turn that around so you can have a little look, and we'll pick a stamp for our door as well. So let's pick this stamp there. Now, which set of doors is this one, Peter, please?
Which one have we got there? That's the one with the nose one, isn't it? That's your set A, that one. That's code 7. That's only priced at £10.19 individually.
I love this door because I think it looks like it's got a little wood grain effect to the door as well. So that's one of my favourites. We'll stick with that set and we'll go for a round door because we haven't yet used a round door. And I think these are quite cute. We haven't used a window either, have we?
No.
But these stamps are no good for the windows. But the windows are lovely. We'll bring that one down. We'll stamp that one in there to give you an idea. And then with this card, now I'm not going to colour this one because we've already shown you how to use your pencils. We had a little play with them, didn't we? And we had a little play with your watercolour palettes. And we've had a little play with, what was the third fun colour thing we had? The pencils, the pens and the palettes. So we had a lot of fun with them, haven't we? So we'll bring in our pieces of card and show you how you could create a card from just one sheet. So we have our panel there. We're then going to put our glue across the back of this. And we're going to pop that onto a pre-mounted piece of card at that edge. And then we're going to bring this one in. And we're going to put our glue in here again. Again, using Cosmic Shimmer glue because it's a nice, strong, quick bonding glue. We're going to make sure our panels are at the same height by bringing that over. And then you can see from there, we have our card ready for decoration. Now it's up to you here what you wanted to create on this. If I was going to colour it, I might put in a bit of night sky, maybe a sentiment, but I thought we would just add on a couple of our little additions to show you how quickly you could add on pieces to give you a bit more dimension. So we have one of our fairies here.
And these can be layered up quite nicely as well, can't they?
Really? Oh yeah, of course, yeah, you could really decoupage your pictures as well if you want to. So we're just going to add in, I love him, I love the little bunny in the watering can, I think he's really cute. And again, up here we could balance him on the top of a tree, so it looks like he's sort of up there. Again, this is a really good place to put your sit-in fairies, they fit up there really nicely too. And then of course in here you could add a little sentiment, and then you could choose one of the mediums that we'll be looking at today for your colouring, or of course you could go off on a completely different tangent. There's nothing stopping you experimenting with this set with other products too.
Play around with your embossing, your embossing powders and yeah.
So very quickly, just to recap, we have our easel card, we have our fairy card, and we have our little Z fold card, just made out of scraps of card really. And that shows you just a few ideas on how you could create different things with this set. So if Pete will have a very quick run through and show you the items and the codes, just so if you do wish to place an order, you know the numbers that you need.
Yeah, so your 6 sets of six rubber stamps of your houses. You've got order code number 1, which is your dandelion steps. Order code number 2 for your toadstool towers. Order code number 3, which is your oak hollow. Number 4 is your toadstool turret. Number 5 is your gnarly nook. And then the penthouse is number 6. And again, all of those are priced at £6.79, just for a limited time only. Normally it would be just under £8 each. Moving on to the door sets, you've got set A or set B. They're code number 7 or number 8, and they're priced at £10.19. Moving on to your dies, you've got 10 die sets for your doors, your corresponding cutting for your doors. Order code number is number 9, that's your door die set, only £12.74. And then moving on to your residence, which is a beautiful selection of your different residents. You've got your flora and fauna set, which is number 11, or your fairies and elves, which is number 12. All those prices are only £10.19 at the moment. And don't forget, if you can't choose between which ones you want, you know, they all work perfectly together. We can go for our amazing bundle price, which is only £94.99, and that gets you all of these. You get your sets, your separate sets. You've got your dies to go with them, and then your 6 rubber stamps as well. Again, that's a massive saving, nearly £28. And this can all be ordered on our website if you wish, which is www.craftmaniacrafts.com. In the UK, if you go for your bundle price or anything over £5, we'll ship that to you for free.
It's also worth mentioning, if you are somebody who's shopping abroad, we actually have a currency converter on the homepage of our website. So if you'd like to see how much this costs in your country or in your currency, you can actually pop in the conversion between your currency and our currency, so you can see how much it will cost you to get it shipped to you.
Yeah, and we ship, as I say, we ship worldwide. Cost is only £10. If we can ship it to you cheaper, we will, and we'll reimburse you the difference. But you can't choose, really. I don't, you know. It's
a one hell of a collection to have, isn't it? Lastly, just to recap on a couple of your colouring items, obviously we touched on your watercolour pencil shoe, a couple of ways to use them. That of course is product number 14, on offer at only £16.99. This is a card I made with those pencils in particular, showing you the blending obviously on the butterflies and the flowers to give you a different idea. Again, these products aren't only for the Willoby Woods collection. Don't forget you can use certain colours from that set on black card and you'll get some really lovely effects too. And then moving on, you have product 15, your watercolour paints. This is a card I had on my show literally the other day, actually. I didn't get around to demoing this, but hopefully we'll be bringing you a demo of this. You'll actually see it created shortly. But I did want to mention that watercolour paints can be really good to colour in between your die cuts. So this is actually a die cut done in gold mirror card. It's been stuck onto watercolour card, and then I've just painted in. Now the good bit with mirror card, whether it be gold or silver, whatever colour you're using, is it will actually repel your paints. The paints won't dry on it as such. They'll
resist.
Yeah, resist. That's the word. Thank you, Peter. They'll resist it, and it makes your painting very quick and easy to do. And again, they're going to give you a really lovely effect to do that with. And then your Stardust pens, here's another card I've hooked out for them, showing you how you could do your watercolouring using them on your flowers. You could also use it on the Distressed Lines embossing folder in the background here. And of course I've coloured in my fairies again using them pens as well. They're something that you're going to love, especially if you're coming up to doing your Christmas cards, because they of course are chocked full of glitter and ready for the festive season.
No one can have too much glitter.
Exactly. The watercolour water brush that you see me using a moment ago, that of course is product number 17 at only £3.39. And then we have your dies, which of course are your code number 18, your passion flower, only £11.89. Code 19, your delicate garden, which is only £15.29. And then your 2 embossing folders, code 20 for the wood grain and code 21 for the distressed lines. They're both reduced to just £4.24p. Well, I think we've certainly given them lots to consider today, haven't we?
I think we have, yes.
Yeah, there's certainly lots to think about, and hopefully tempt you slightly and hopefully give you some ideas. If you have any questions about anything you have seen today, please don't hesitate to ask us in the comments, either on YouTube or Facebook. You can of course pop in store, you can call us in store, or something I haven't yet mentioned is I do have my own Facebook page now as well called Jamie Rogers Crafts, which you can find, and you can of course follow all of my upcoming show dates. I also have lots of sneaky peeks for all of the upcoming lessons and bits that we're doing too, and of course you'll be in contact with us for our videos too as well there. So lots to follow on that one.
Absolutely, and thank you for bearing with us, and hopefully...
Yeah, I hope you've enjoyed your new look showcase. Of course, as always, let us know what you think. Your feedback is always very important to us. If you've enjoyed it even more than normal, that's something we need to know about. And if you don't like Pete, I need to know so I can get rid of him too. But hopefully you've enjoyed this, and we'll be back soon with another new video.
Absolutely.
If you're watching this at the time it was launched, I will next be on Create and Craft, hopefully, fingers crossed, on October the 11th, as I'm off on holiday for a couple of weeks. But we'll be back rested and ready on October the 11th with another really good show for you.
Absolutely.
Some lovely things coming up on that one, isn't there?
Yeah.
But lots of shows, and hopefully you've enjoyed this one. Thank you so much for watching from me and Pete.
Thank you.
And we'll see you soon. Bye for now.
Bye.